Hello, everybody. Today I wanted to talk about how I think and why I think momentum is dead, especially in 2024. So we're still in January of 2024, new year, new me, etc. And I still see things moving really slowly, right? Like, just to give you like some personal examples, I used to have work on Saturdays, and now I no longer work on Saturdays, right? Like I just have off. So I have all this free time also because during the week I used to also work on certain days, certain hours in the morning specifically, and now I'm not working those hours anymore. So I'm kind of like, what why is this happening? Why does it feel like people aren't really getting into the rhythm of things, as of 2024? There's even talk about locking people back down like they did back when coronavirus first hit, like in March, April of 2020, which I don't think at all is going to happen. I think those are just like, people are obsessed with apocalyptical destructions, type of sensationalist, type of vulgar ideas, right? Like these, like, oh yeah, there's a new COVID around, there's a new virus, everybody's gonna get locked down again, which I don't think is gonna happen. I don't think any of the bullshit predictions that people make about destruction, about World War III, about wars with Russia, China, Taiwan are gonna happen. I don't think any of that shit's gonna happen. People want it to happen, and in the subconscious, I think in the unconscious, people want that shit to happen. I'm not sure why. Even I wanted it to happen, right? Like from a Walking Dead perspective, I remember I started watching The Walking Dead when the pandemic started in 2020. And man, I was obsessed with The Walking Dead. I was just like, yeah, that would be so cool if like something like that happened, a zombie apocalypse, some type of apocalypse where you would have to just like go out and survive on your own and figure out how to get around places and, kill off zombies and things like that, and get with like different groups of people, meet different people, be in different situations, right? But I think it's the novelty of things, right? I think it's this is different from my 9 to 5, from my daily routine, and that's why it's interesting. It's interesting because it's something different, right? And something apocalyptic would obviously involve everybody. Where I was listening to this chat where these guys were talking about how it's actually like the collective apocalypse that's attractive because it's not a singular or an individual death. It's not your death, it's everybody's death. And that's kind of attractive because you say, well, I'm not in this alone, right? I'm in this with other people. So we're all like facing this together. And yeah, so just basically I wanted to speak on that, how I feel like things are momentum is dead. Basically, people aren't really getting back into the rhythm of things. In fact, they I think they want to go back. They want to go back to like having things slow down, having things easy, not really having to work, not really having to do much. I'm living proof. I'm not really doing much right now. That's why I'm able to make all these videos like this. I have a lot of free time on my hands, so you know I mean, I need to get into the rhythm of things because money. But other than that, I'm kind of like, why is this happening? Like, why do I feel like this is happening all around? Like all around me with people in general, where they're kind of like, yeah, just it's kind of hard to get back into, start kicking ass, get working and things like that. So I thought I'd just share this. Momentum is dead for the moment. Let's see if we pick it up during the year or in the next couple of years. Who knows? People want another pandemic. People want more apocalyptic events to happen, like Ukraine, like Israel, like whatever other countries at war, and the United States is attacking, and oh damn, there's the danger of World War III again. There are people that say that World War III has been happening, is something that is happening, right? You can't really, I mean, like World War I, World War II, I think when those things were happening, people weren't really aware of what was happening. I think it was a disaster. So like maybe in 100 years, if people look back to this period, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, World War III was happening because these countries were at war, whatever. You know, yeah, I don't really know why people like I think they do that because it sells, right? So when people talk about this stuff, like, I could do clickbait on a video and be like, oh yeah, the real reasons why World War III is happening in the next month or whatever, and put like a Ukraine and a U.S. picture, and like a Russian picture, or a picture of Putin, and just give my opinion about that, and people are gonna watch it because they're gonna be like, oh yeah, it's gonna happen. And then like a couple days after that, they're gonna forget about it and they're gonna go on living their life as usual, right? So again, it's that innovation, it's that novelty, like, is what's new, what's happening. Oh damn, that's bad, right? Like the news are like candy for babies, right? But except in this case, it's for adults, right? So you turn on the news and you got this going on, you got that going on, and people start to get all pessimistic about things, and they start to think that bad things are going to happen, when in reality things have always been the same. Lately I've been noticing these patterns, right? Like these type of synchronous or synchronicity, I think they call it, like Carl Jung would call it like that, like where you see 1111 everywhere, or you see the number 7 everywhere. I've been, but it gets a little bit more abstract than that, or complex, where it's like I see these things where I think that what is happening right now is actually new, is actually from this era, like the way people speak, the way people think, the way people use language, right? And then I'll look at things like watch a movie from the 90s, and I'll watch, or I'll see things in those times that I see now. So I'm actually like, what's happening now isn't really that new, isn't really, it's not original. Pues, what you see now isn't really new, right? So it's been done before. Everything's been done before. Even like these ideas that like they come up with, like different types of government systems, different types of viewing the world through the scientific lens, right? Like, well, we could actually do this, right? And you think it's a brand new idea by some people, and it's actually something that some dude said in a book, like in 1950, or in the 1940s, or in the 1800s, right? Like, it's old. Like, all of these things are old, and they just pick up steam every once in a while, every couple of years, like, and they are presented as new ideas, right? Like the law of attraction idea, I didn't know it was rooted in this new thought movement that actually goes back to like the 1800s, where people were like basically healing people with their minds, right? And yeah, just I've been noticing a lot of these things, like how actually what we think is new isn't really new. It's been done before, it's been said before, and that goes back to the idea of like it's all a spiral, right? It's just we're going in a circle, everything gets recycled over and over again, and we may be in a spiral ascending, right? Where like, okay, we've seen this before, but now it's with another twist, somebody else is saying it, it's in a different way. So that's like the ascending, like the going up spiral, but it's the same stuff, right? It's the same ideas being recycled. It's the same type of people, like just look at politicians, man. I don't know why people think politicians are going to make a change. Election after election after election, these random ass people just come out of nowhere, promising change, promising to make things better. It's like, who the fuck are you? Or, like, what do you mean better, and then they get into power, you don't see them anymore, and then after that, a new group of people come out, start saying the same crap, there's going to be change, and there's a bunch of people that are like, oh yeah, and they support that, like election after election they do this, and I don't understand why. It's like, look back, at history. Has there really been people in power that have actually made changes? What are presidents normally remembered for? They're usually remembered for the bad things they did, the mistakes they made, right? A lot of people say, well, the president is just like any other human being. If it wasn't that president, it would have been another president, but they would have made the same decision, hence they would have made the same mistake, right? Because they're people. They're not superhumans. but to a certain extent they should be, because that's why they get elected, right? You get all these people that are just getting into power because people around them help them get there, right? Or they have this way about, controlling people and manipulating and, socializing that few of us have. um, but why would you believe it? If just look back to the past, like I just said, like has anybody ever done anything really significant or of impact? No, like they just get into power, they govern, they administrate, they do what they do. They make the decisions that anybody else would have made given the circumstances, because the circumstances aren't up to them. And then the next person comes in and does the same thing. So I think it's I agree with Sartre, where he wouldn't vote. He didn't vote throughout his life. He never voted once, and neither have I ain't never gonna participate in that bullshit, because that's some bullshit, right? But yeah, let's see if we could pick up this steam once again, because I'm a very active person. I like to stay active and doing things. So yeah, I guess I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.